the two parts, kind of major parts together. This one, obviously, main output transformers, main transformer, and then we've got the all the electronics bits. So it talks about having a layout of where the actual connectors go. So at the front, we've got the C5, brilliant, and the 2-3, which is those, which is great. And I'm going to put a bit of tape around that because they keep dashing off. I'm going to tape around that one. So you've got the main transformer and the two primaries of the output transformer. Just that. Cool. And then at the other end, you've got all the other bits. There. Get them together. Sweet. Right, now we're going to put them on. Put the transformer rack on the bottom. Just do that. Fix it. All right. So this goes. That one as well should be with that one, which is there. Oh, there's more than I figured. A bit more tape. Cool, two sets there. So lift it up. These go on the inside, not the outside. Like so. I'm going to put the screws in. Yes, I am. Line them up. Brilliant. And then we're going to fit the actual connectors together. So this one goes into there. This one goes into there. Obviously that correlates to the left side, that one correlates to the right side. And then this mains one, where does that go? All right, down here. So this comes to the board down here. You can't really go wrong. As long as you've got the right side going to the right, output transformer going to the right side of the actual chassis. So this is a 4-pin. goes to here. Yep. There. So that is the output transformer secondary, so which correlates to there, and then this one, which comes from this transformer, correlates to these connectors. There. Brilliant. And then you've got, so the orange and brown, which is this, goes to CN205, which is that one. Excellent. And then the 7-pinner goes to CN105. Which is there. Brilliant. And then the other one goes to CN305. So that's a 6-pinner. All right, that's it. So now we're going to be doing the actual valve cover holders. So these sit on the front panel, the top panel, which is this one, like this. Like that. Right, cool. So, number 3s. Oh, you need to pop these things in the side of them. I forgot what to do. They're symmetrical, so yep. Probably best to put those in while it's on its side, like that. Move it around. So these fit on there like that. Cool. Then we use the hex screws here. So interestingly, they're just saying assemble it and then switch it on. So we're going to do that, but then I'm going to go back in and do some tests, because there are some test voltages that you can make sure that everything's good. I feel quite confident now this is going to work. Huh. Cool, then we're going to put the front cover on. This is symmetrical, so either way around. Watch out for those things at the back. Fit them in. There's two. Yeah. Brilliant. Front panel. Which is here. There you go, front panel, looks good. Turn. Right, before we do this, I need to put this back on. Kind of falls off. Right. Don't tighten them all up super tight. Wait until you've got them all in. All right, and the knob. That's just a push knob. Carefully as you push it in. Brilliant, that's done. And now it talks about the labelling at the back. Don't really like stickers, but we're going to do it. Hey. Well, here's the labels. I want the long one. So warning label. Put it in the middle, about there. It's kind of duplicated these labels, which is good, in case you mess it up. There, so I just put the that one on, and then you've got your for Japan. No, we want the UK one. That's it. So 230 volts, and that goes above here. Brilliant. What else? Oh, inputs. Input left and right. There. And then we have descriptive label that goes here. Like so. And then we've got two more stickers that go on the top. And one is about the valves. There, and the other one is hot. This stuff is hot. Hot valves. Oh, there's another one as well. What's the other one? D. Green, 203, okay. And there's a colour code green, 203, blue, 300B, red, protection. It's probably to do with the colouring coming out of it. Cool, and then we've got this cover. So end pieces. Can't be right. So like that. Like that. Like that. And then I should have done that first. Like that. Be careful, you might snap that. It can be a bit delicate. Valve cover goes on. Oh, let's put the valves in, shall we? So, to a ECC 82, and we're using the gold pin JJs. Like so. And 300Bs, we're going to use a gold 300B gold grid electro harmonics. Now, just be aware, you can see visibly that 2 pins are bigger, and you can see visibly that those 2 pins are bigger. They're the heaters, so it has to go in that way. You can force it in the other way, but don't do that because it won't work. That goes in there. Brilliant. Now this fits like that, and then you screw it with some screws here, but we're not going to put that on because I want to see the valves glow. Brilliant. So that's complete. Complete. We're going to turn her on now, see what happens. Whoop. Right, we're going to get down to the testing. We have actually played her, and I know she's going to be okay, sounding good. So what we've done, we've taken the front cover off, 4 screws, and then the top plate off to expose all the gubbins inside. We put the valves back in. Just to explain, when you are doing a test, you kind of, all valve amps need to see a load, so you can put kind of an 8-ohm resistor, or you can use a pair of speakers. But be aware, if you're using your best speakers, you might damage them, possibly. So use a resistor or some crappy speakers if you've got them some lying around. I'm using kind of a cheap multimeter like this one. But before we start doing the testing, just a couple of things regarding the input gain. So you can see this here. So there's a connector there that could be moved to a different location. So basically this setting, there's no feedback. So the gain is more, and actually I think it sounds nicer. So from this, you could basically have your source coming from, I don't know, tape deck, about half a volt, and then that will give you good volume, big volume. But then if you have like an active preamp you've wired to it, move the connectors along, and then you've got less gain, but then more control on your preamp. So just be aware of that. I'm going to leave it with no feedback because I think it sounds better. At the front, you can see you've got your headphone socket here, and there's jumpers for the right channel and the left channel. So you basically are moving them around for high impedance, medium impedance, and low impedance. So to suit what kind of headphones you have, you'll just move those around. That's if you do listen to headphones. I generally don't listen to headphones, ever, apart from when I mow the lawn. But, you know, there you go. So everything's exposed, so you've got to be really careful. Don't touch anything internally. There's big voltages in this. I think I mentioned earlier about these boards here are linked to the power supply. You've got left and right channel, and it's all to do with a soft start. So when the valve starts conducting, there's a surge of current that goes to the heaters, because the heaters have to warm up to release the electrons for it to conduct and become an amplifying unit. There's a lot of stress on. So generally what happens with a soft start, the heaters come on slowly, and then once they're heated up, so within, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, then the HT will start flowing. It's a high tension voltage range. So that's what all these boards do. So they're the ones I kind of had issues with, because I had one channel working fine and the voltages were good, but then the other channel was a bit kind of like a quarter of the voltage, and I thought, well, it's got to be that, because everything else is right. Soldering's good, the components are in the right place. So I basically pulled out those. I mean, there's a lot of connections. You've got, and everyone has to be connected. And then I swapped them around, and it sorted itself out. So I can only assume that a couple of connections weren't good. So right, we're going to go through the test voltages. So on page 25, it has a list of test points down there. Now, these aren't definitive figures, so you've got about 10% variation in there, depending on what the valve is. There will be a slight variation when you do get to measure them. So it says here, there's several ground points, which, can you see that? Is that visible? So I'm going, oh, I can do that one there, couldn't I? That's a ground point, hopefully. We'll find out in a minute. So that's a ground point, and then we're going to go to pin 1. So there's a 300B listing, and then there's a 2A3 listing. All right, so pin 1, sorry, test point 1, make sure you got it in the right range. So put it on 20 volts. So 2.96, it's 2.8, fine. And then pin 2, 2.84, brilliant. Pin 3. You can look at where these measuring points are on the circuit if you want to. I always find with these, the hardest thing is finding where the pin numbers are, the test points. So do I need to put that up? No, I don't. Yeah, it's 200. That's pin 3, and that's 70 volts, and that's what it says, so kind of spot on. It's symmetrical, so you're measuring 1 point. Pin 4 is 77, so a bit more. And then you've got pin 5. That's 75. Pin 6, which I think is that one. 81, so a bit more. Pin 7 is here. Make sure you don't touch anything. Get your voltage meter in the right range. That's 220. That's 205. So these voltages vary because maybe the mains voltage here is 240 volts, which AC, which it can be in the UK. Can go down to 220. So if it's 220, the voltages will be lower. So you've got pin 7 was good. Now pin 8, which will be the other side. There, 210. 9 and 10, 0. Where's 9? Pin 9. So when you do the video, oh yeah, pin 9, 0. Yeah, 0. Pin 10, 0. Should be over here somewhere. Yeah, 0. Pin 11. 60 volts. Where's pin 11? Pin 11's up here. So that's 66. Pin 12, 67. Pin 13 is 11 plus 5, so we've got 6, so about 65. So pin 13. Yep. Pin 14. Watch your fingers when you're going over. Don't touch anything. 15. 15 is there. It's 309. 16. That's fine. 17. Where's 17? What's that? 18, that's kind of higher. 18 is 18 should be there, right? It says there. Same. 19 is 330. Yep. Meter's gone off. That's 330, spot on. 20. Good. 21. Was there. What's that? 434, yep. 22. Machine would be around here. Yep. And then 23, which is somewhere. 23. Is there any more on this? No, 23. 23, Johnny. See 23? Aha, 23.
There it is.
So, yeah. 6.6. Right, that's superb. So, out of interest, I want to measure what the AC voltage is. I bet it's quite high here. Don't do this at home, kids. So here we go. It's 243 here. So this country's supposed to be 230 volts. So because that's 10 volts higher, everything else is measuring high, but that's relative. There you go. So that's all good. Quite happy with that. Do a soak test. So just to recap, amp went together really well. It took about 4.5 hours. No real big hiccups apart from having to jiggle the connectors around. Although we have, I mean, these transformers are amazing, and so the output transformers are upgraded. Nothing else is upgraded, but there's so much scope to do an upgrade. We do list a whole raft of components you can do. You could take this, now you've got it up and running. I mean, I always recommend start with the basic kit. I mean, well worth doing transformers now. Start with the basic kit, get used to it, and then when you fancy a change and want to have a bit of fun, get the components and clean them off. Clean off all the solder joins, the ones you want to change. It'll be good to do one swap, I'd say. PCBs generally don't like to be reheated over and over again. It makes them weak. But it is an awesome kit and it sounds beautiful, so enjoy. Okay, so TU-8900VK is now built. Went together relatively easy. I had a couple of issues on switch on. There's two boards in there that control the supply, and one of the channels wasn't reading the correct voltage, so I assumed it was a connection issue because there's like 24 different connections, push-ons. So I pulled them out, swapped them around, and it's been fine. It's incredibly quiet, and it works really well. So this one has got electroharmonic 300B gold pin and some JJ 12AU7s. Should we turn her on? You should see blue lights there. So that signifies it's 300B tubes, which it is. We're using our kit speaker, which we're launching very soon, just a shelf mount 2-way. Not the best tune. Go back one, Johnny. So there we go. Oh, we're using this as a DAC, the HiFi, or HiFi, as you call it. You get a good volume out of it. It's only 8.5 watts each. Oh, also, headphones. Check with the headphones. Let's try these, shall we? It's got its own dedicated thing in there. Where is it, Johnny? Help me. There?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, it's coming through. Cool, brilliant. So, there's a couple of settings, 3 settings on this, which I'll show you later, but inside there you can adjust the input sensitivity. So, if you're using a preamp, where you've got a bit of gain, it takes the gain down a bit. But if you're using direct from source, as in, I don't know, a CD player, where you need a bit more gain, you can adjust there. That's basically just a connector you move along. Also, you've got, for your headphone socket, you've got different impedances, which are just basically tags that you pull out and move along. So that's pretty easy. And then you've got at the back a switch for 4 to 16 ohm and 4 to 6.3 ohm, which you just throw, depending on what speakers you use. But sounds awesome to me. Brilliant kit. Before I sign off, I want to say a big thank you for watching our videos. Like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social network platforms. See you later.